Today I'm revealing two very well kept secrets. Number one, I don't like Pink Floyd, never have, never will. And number two, all the secrets in the most beautiful key, the key of A. So, buckle up, because we're going to talk about it right now, rocking out the D'Angelico Deluxe SS. So, why is A the prettiest key? We're about to find out. Secret number one, the 5th fret on the low E string is an A note. Shouldn't really be a secret, but that's where we're going to start, okay? Now, one of the reasons that it's so pretty is because the open strings really aid us in a lot of these things, right? So if we just take a regular A major bar chord like this, where you bar the 5th fret, ring finger, 7A, pinky, 7D, middle finger, 6G. If we open up the top of it, right? Open up that B and E string, and even open up the low E string, super pretty. How pretty is that, okay? Specifically because, again, open B and open E, in the key of A, B is the 2nd note, and E is the 5th note, okay? So the root note and the 5th have a very strong relationship with each other. That's why the power chords always sound good. And I really think that the 2nd note, or the 9th note, if we're going beyond the octave, just has like a beautiful sound to it. That's why add 9 chords sound really good. Suspended 2 chords sound really good. The first thing we're going to do is we're really just going to take like an E major shape and then just put it where that A bar chord was. Okay? So this is going to be kind of like the A major shape that we're rolling with here. Again, you know, we can come up with a different name for this. This could be like an A add 9, something like that, because we have that B in there and 2 extra E's. It's pretty. We don't need to give it another name other than it is beautiful. And that is secret number one. Now, we can play the other major chords in this key with the same shape. E, we already know. Right? Just move the shape to the middle finger 2nd fret. There's E. Now, the other major chord in the key of A is a D. So we just put this right here. Really easy. Grab. Just go down to the octave bar. Again, on a classy Deluxe SS, we have a nice rectangle here instead of a dot, instead of a fool's dot or double dot. How pretty is that, right? So again, one shape, and we can get some really cool, interesting textures and sounds, right? The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord right there. Or we can go higher up on the 5 chord. Okay? Now, the next thing that we can do is actually use another open string as another helper, right? The D string is actually the 4th note, A, B, C sharp, D, the 4th note in the key of A. So what I like to do a lot is take that bar chord form, right? Leave the top open, that B and E string open, and then I'll lift your pinky up. Okay, so now we're getting that open D in there. Super bright, super chimey. We can do the same thing with the D chord, obviously. I'm just moving the whole shape to the 10th fret. And then when we move it down into position lower, that's really just the E dominant 7 as the 5 chord is, right? So again, we're just using just one shape, really, one kind of variation on a shape, for just the major chords. We haven't even gotten to the beautiful minor chords yet. This is all going to be conceptually rooted on the low E string, right? A, D, E, A, D, E, back to A, okay? You can do a lot with just that. But let's talk about the minor chords in this key, all right? I think the most important one is always the relative minor chord, the note that we find on the 6th degree of any key. You can always find that by counting backwards. Take a root note, count it backwards, 3 frets. So F sharp minor is going to be the 6th chord of the key. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to play it like this. Take the same shape that we did at the beginning, right? This guy right here, where I like having my ring finger, pinky, and middle finger grouped together rather than doing it as just a traditional E shape, just because that kind of allows us to transition to the minor chord version of what we're doing here. So again, now my pointer finger is in line where F sharp would normally be. Okay, but I don't have to bar it. I can just get 4A, 4D, 2G, open up the rest of the chord, and then just enjoy, then just bask in the beauty of it. A major, F sharp minor, E, D, back to A. Okay, now we can do the same shape for the other two chords in the key. The 2 chord in the key of A is B minor, right? So a B is the 7th fret of the E string. We can just do this right here. Same shape. Okay, so now I've got 9A, 9D, and 7G. Okay, and then the 3 chord in the key of A is C sharp minor. You can just move that 2 frets higher. So my ring finger is going to be kind of my anchor point here. The 9th fret, to get the B minor, or the 11th fret for the C sharp minor. Bar chord, C sharp minor, open. C sharp minor. Bar chord, B minor, open. Bar chord A, open. And again, now we are adding some different notes to these. So the exact chord names won't just be major or minor triads, but that's what we're thinking of to kind of get these cool open sounds in the key of A, right? Now the next thing we can do is we can take a lot of what we've already known and then just move these same shapes a string higher, okay? So the cool thing about this, when you take, let's take that second shape we learned first, that F sharp minor one, and let's take it into A's position, right? The 5th fret, down a string. And this is actually indicative of like a D major, right? So now the minor shape, a string higher, becomes a major shape, just like A major down a string would be like a D minor. Same thing applies here with these kind of open pieces of chords, all right? So this is going to be another way to play a D. Instead of having to slide all the way up here, you know, we can just go from A to D. And then E is right here, just 2 frets higher. The 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 1 chord. Or the 4 chord, the 5 chord, and the 1 chord. Alright? Now, inversely, the other shape that we used is going to be a minor chord. Alright? So like I said, I remember B minor is in this key, so we can do the same thing up here. B minor, but then take your pointer finger off. And now we're left with what was the E major shape, but now it's here. Okay, however, whichever fingers you want to use. Now I'm actually kind of thinking as my anchor point as being like the 3rd fret of the B string, and then making the shape down from there. So there's B minor, 2 frets higher, the C sharp minor, and then we can get right into that D to E to F sharp minor, back, home to A. Okay, so just a couple different ways to really like look all over the place. And really, thinking of it this way, I think, is a really good way to maybe just find more efficient ways that are still kind of different. You know, kind of like we said with that open D string, A major chord. We can play it any different way. Since all 6 of these strings are going to work, we can just kind of pick around within it. Then we go to the different voicings. And then just kind of think about where the root notes are. In fact, another class that I made is the Mastering the Fretboard class, which if you haven't checked that one out, check that out, because we have like a lot of shortcuts and stuff, and we go in depth into a lot of different keys, and there's backing tracks, and it's way less than the price of one in-person guitar lesson. So make sure you check the link below to check that out, because it really helps me out, and you learn way more secrets. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do one more chord devotion for the minor chords. This is something that I use a lot in the key of A. We talked about those 3 minor chords, the F sharp minor, opening up, the B minor, opening up, and the C sharp minor, opening up. I really like the sound of getting the root bass note in there and then making it a minor 7 chord. So like this right here. Instead of F sharp minor or this openish F sharp minor, use your middle finger to grab the F sharp, skip the A string, or leave the A string open, because again, a lot of this is very open centric. And then just get your ring finger and pinky on 2D and 2G. So now this is going to be F sharp minor 7 to the B 7th fret to C sharp minor. And more than anything, we're kind of making connections on these. And you'll see like the spacing, the interval between the major and the minor chords. And then see how they relate with maybe different places on the neck. And even though A is the most beautiful key, you can still slap a capo on the 1st fret, move everything one relation farther, 1 fret farther, and then all of a sudden you're playing in B flat. Or capo on 2, you're playing in B. Or capo on 3, do the same thing, and then play songs in the key of C that maybe you know in kind of like a more basic way, but you can use a lot of these tricks, these open chord tricks on them, right? So again, something that I think is really cool is grabbing those minor 7 chords, running it from the 2nd fret, 7th fret, 9th fret. To the D. Again, super important whenever you're ending it, especially if you're raking like that, do the look off. Makes it that much more beautiful. Really find your own beauty in any key that you're in. And then you'll feel a lot better about yourself, your self-confidence. You'll be able to sleep better at night. Once you grab one of those master classes, pay it forward, specifically to me. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website, and compliment me for wearing my A's hat as a thematic element to the glorious key of A. Thank you very much.